All right, we have Caleb here now. We're going to actually talk about how to find private lenders. Yeah, it's great to know that private lenders exist, but where does that leave us if we don't have a way to contact them, meet them, put ourselves in the same rooms with them and find them? So, Caleb, can you please explain, like as a private lender yourself, how can somebody who is, just starting out in real estate, learning, going through these courses, but is doing enough of the research and actually accumulating enough of the knowledge that they feel like they want to do their first deal, they've actually even identified a property, but now we're at the money spot. How do I find or take advantage of the knowledge that you're giving me by locating private lenders?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's really where the rubber meets the road. And so I would first look at who's already in your existing network. I mean, even this morning, I had a deal I took to a friend that's going to help fund a deal for me. So who do you already have? You might be surprised who's already in your network that may be willing to invest in you and help you get launched, to really further your dreams. So start there. The second thing is there are private money, also known as hard money lenders or brokers all across the country in different areas. So you can reach out to those brokers will have a database of relationships of private investors. They're going to coordinate that money with your deal, and they're going to make what's called a points. That's going to be like their loan fee to basically the value of structuring the deal and connecting you with the money. So you're going to have to pay for that service, but there are whole networks through these private money or hard money brokers. You can also look online. There's a lot of clearinghouses of platforms that are trying to connect money and deal flow online. So there's different platforms that way. Just Google, private money or hard money lenders or business lenders, commercial lenders for investment. There's some terms you can use online. There's a lot of guys that are also lending nationwide. So you might find that your capital even comes from someone in New York, California, and just anywhere across the U.S. It doesn't have to necessarily be right in your backyard. For your backyard, I would look at often commercial, maybe realtors. There's different real estate brokers that are more investment focused. And often those individuals will have referrals or relationships of people that are sitting on capital. And then I would say also networking groups. There's often real estate investor groups in your area. I know it's shifted a little bit with COVID, but online there's groups that way, meetup groups, meetup.com, real estate investor connect points. Often there's people with capital, they're going to be in those groups. So let me just tell you this. There's a little secret. The money's not the hard part. There's always way more money than there are good deals. So if you have the right deal structured well, then there's going to be the money for it. So if you have a poor structured deal or you don't come prepared, then it might not get funded. But the money is honestly not the hard part. Most people think the money is the hard piece, but finding the deals is actually the hardest part.
Let me ask you a deeper question. Do I need to have like a special account set up for the money to come in? Like, how do I need to have myself ready to receive the money?
That's going to really depend on how the deal is being structured. If you're just borrowing money, it's from a loan or we call it a note, then you don't need that. And so often you can invest in your own personal name. Some people do invest in a company. So Mark, maybe you have a company you've set up and you do your deals and you buy real estate using your company. In that case, yeah, you'd have a business account, you'd have a LLC set up. But that isn't actually always a benefit for an investor because sometimes a private lender wants to lend to a person, not a company, because of something known as a personal guarantee. When your company is borrowing money from an investor, that investor's ability to recoup their money is shielded by your company versus if they're lending to you personally, or maybe you sign on behalf of your company to borrow money from them, they have a little more security behind their investment because your name is backing your promise to pay them back along with your company. And so I would say the most important thing is personally, I would be working on your credit score. That is important. Though in the private money world, a lot of times what they're looking at is the real estate. So when you go to the bank, get a loan, strict loan, it's all about you. It's all about your W-2 paycheck. Not so much in the private money world. It's about what's your deal, how much equity do you have, what's your exit strategy. So being crystal clear on how you're going to use the capital. If you're going to do a fix and flip deal, have the whole pro forma, have all the estimates from your contractors, your whole plan, having a clear business plan, and then knowing what's your exit strategy going to be. So an investor can know, all right, he's going to buy this property, he's going to fix it up, he's going to either resell it or refinance it to pay me off. So that investor knows you've got eyes wide open, a clear plan of how to not only keep the money safe, but also pay them back with that return they're expecting.
Man, thank you so much. I know sometimes, people talk about this stuff in a kind of fluffy way. We want to get down to the meat and potatoes, as you would say, and be
Totally.
specific because that's what people really need, any actionable information. So thank you for going that deep. but you made it so digestible in the way that you explained it and broke it down. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Happy to.